All right, we're joined by Dave Jones. Hey, Dave.
Hi there. How are you, Alex?
I'm good. So I was informed by a mutual friend of ours, Heath Lovell, that you ran a marathon in a hard hat. Is that right?
I've actually run a couple, yes.
What's going on there? That's not a very common thing to do.
Well, inspired by your earlier writings and some other things, as I've thought about how I can do the most to support both my industry and my living, and what I believe is the right way to go. I thought a mini promotion would work. So I had been accepted into the Boston Marathon, and decided as I was preparing for that to start training in a coal mining hard hat, which is something that I wear frequently at work, and then put together a jersey that had some interesting facts on it, and I ran the Boston Marathon in that in an attempt to show New England and the world a little bit of something that they're not used to hearing, which is the other side of the climate change and coal effect debate.
So how fast did you run the marathon?
Not very fast, Alex. I am not a fast runner. I'm a 250-pound guy that ran the Boston Marathon in just over 5 hours, and my best marathon is 4:46. So I am not burning up any speed records.
Well, that's still pretty impressive to me, especially given your size.
Well,
That's
I ran the Washington, D.C., the Marine Corps Marathon here a couple months ago in about 10 minutes faster than I did the Boston, if that helps any.
so how were you received with your hard hat?
It differed in different places. I've also run in it in Arkansas, Boston, a half marathon in Evansville, Indiana, and a full marathon in Washington, D.C. And each place was different. So Arkansas is a coal producing state. They were just I was a novelty item. Uh, Boston, of course, is a huge event, a million spectators, and it ran the full gambit. Most people were a little more reserved. So some people said things like, tell them what needs said. And other people said, fact check. Uh, but by and large, people were just amazed by the spectacle that is someone running a marathon in a mining hard hat. Meanwhile, Washington D.C., Evansville, Indiana half, that people got it because it's very close to coal mining territory. Now, Washington, D.C., a lot more vocal protests to what I was doing.
What was the most memorable?
Um, of course, the yelling and screaming about fact checking, get your coal and go was one, and then some people talking trash about my size, and I think that was related to the fact that I had a political view that they didn't appreciate, and so therefore they wanted to make fun of me being a big guy.
Oh, that's nice of them. It's
Right,
a
right.
good
But
taste that I've come to expect from that
indeed.
from that crowd.
Right.
So, what was the highlight of it for you?
Uh, Really, whenever at a couple of times during not so much during Boston, but during DC, I did have a couple of people come up to me and tell me that they had relatives in the coal industry, for instance, and then also people telling me again this tell what needs said, or I believe you, or I wish more people would say that, or that kind of thing. It's the positive ones, which wasn't really the impact. I was trying to, I guess, make converts, I guess, but it is good to be told that you're doing a good job. But probably the best part of the whole thing was through the effort for the Boston. I soliciting people within the coal industry, which I'm coal focused. We raised $10,700 ish for a homeless charity in Boston. It's called Boston Family Aid, and again, the coal industry, coal support groups, various mining organizations, and other people donated a grand total of 10,700. I can't remember the number exactly right now, but that toward that charity, and it 100% went to homeless families in the Boston area. Of course, those same families who just got crushed last year by more expensive electric bills based on irresponsible policies with our electric grid.
So just tell us quickly, what do you do in the coal industry?
I do a number of things. I am VP of Midwest Operations for a company called GMS Mine Repair, which is the largest underground coal services company in the country. We have about 1,350 employees nationwide. In the Midwest, I've got about 250 employees. Also, Pioneer Conveyor, VP of Midwest Operations, Pioneer Conveyor, which is a sister company that manufactures conveyor equipment for mining. And then I also own a retail mine supply and online store that gets into various coal mining related things, including personal protective equipment. And I manufacture a clothing line and that hard hat that I was wearing. So the Low Pro hard hat is actually a creation and manufactured product of me and my companies.
So, what do you think of the moral case for fossil fuels?
Well, say what needs says, Alex. The the book is a lot to digest, and I tried to go through it quickly whenever I first met you and you handed me the advanced copy, and I wanted to get it read before anyone else, and it's hard to digest that quickly. So I've gone back and taken the time to study the arguments and the facts and the charts. Of course, I'm still on advanced copies, so maybe the charts and graphs aren't as fancy as they probably are in the copy that you buy. But in any case, I think that it is a well laid out, logical set of arguments that exposes an entirely different approach to how to present our industries, the fossil fuel industries. Which tend to have some animosity between them, evidently, if I look at ExxonMobil commercials. But in any case, our industry, it is so easy to fall into the feeding frenzy that is this global climate change debate or global warming, the science and the 97% of scientists and all that nonsense. That whenever you read not just one or two arguments or hey, here we have this science that is anti what your science says, but entirely different ways of viewing and posing the entire argument, what questions need asked, why we are coming at it from the direction that we're coming at it from. Is this a humanist perspective, or is this a leave no trace perspective? All of those arguments are just they're brilliant, and I also have a minor in philosophy undergrad, so I can appreciate a well put together argument, and I am impressed at the tack that you took because it's entirely unique.
So yeah, and you mentioned that you have an advanced copy, so I should just say that I didn't have many advanced copies, I think, when I gave you yours. So one thing that I appreciated, I now remember the marathon thing, but I had forgotten it for a little while. Just that, yeah, I wish more people in industry had both the intellectual interest in getting clearer on these issues as a means of their own understanding, but also communicating to others, and then the enthusiasm to get out and do something, because that's the number one thing I really judge people on. Because if you're out there in action, even if you're making mistakes, we can correct those mistakes. But if you're just on your butt, even if you're the Einstein of the coal industry, it doesn't really do any good. So what makes you so motivated?
Well, I'll say, a combination of things have come. Of course, it's been said that it's difficult to make a man understand a thing if his paycheck or his salary depends on the opposite or him not understanding it. I forget. I'm paraphrasing there, but clearly I am personally motivated in that all of the endeavors that I am involved in entrepreneurially and my salary does depend in large part on the coal industry. So that was the starting point, but that can only take you so far. I believe that any moral individual can't just sell out indefinitely. As you move along and you keep on taking this hassle, or as I've moved along and keep on taking this, you are doing the wrong thing for the environment. What do you do? I'm in coal. And, you either have to be able to stand up and say, this is what I do for a living. This is what I believe in. This is what I believe is best for my family, for the country, for me, or else you should move on and go do something else that you can believe in. Well, I've always believed that in order to sell a product, you have to sell it to yourself first, and then it's easy. And you could take that and extrapolate further out that if you're going to live a life and live a lifestyle and put your eggs in a basket, you damn well better not believe that there's something wrong with it. I'm not in the porn industry. I don't run a pawn shop. I don't do a cash now business. I'm in the energy industry, and so I've been thirsty, and I think a lot of us have been thirsty to find something that justifies what we actually believe and know on some deep level, and then be able to put that together. So the book is gratifying in that way. My movement then kind of started as, what can I do? I believe it actually did start with Heath. I think you'll like this. Heath Lovell, like I said, I represent the largest underground coal services company in the country. Well, one day, one of our people ended up on CNN or Fox News or some sort of media outlet doing the same old thing that coal has done for a long time. Save our jobs, save our jobs, save our jobs, save our jobs. And it was a GMS mine repair guy, and he sent me a link to the thing and said, "Did you see this?" And I said, "Oh yeah, isn't that great? Here's somebody from our company out here saying what needs to be said. This is wrong, that they're shutting down these coal mines and destroying people's lives and killing our jobs." And he's like, "You are missing the boat. We need to change the conversation." This was before I'd ever even read your small pamphlet book, let alone the big book. And we need to change the conversation. This is about more than our jobs. People in Southern California, by and large, don't give a damn about our jobs. Get some new jobs. You're killing the planet. And the other thing is that there are a lot better arguments against doing what we're doing than that. So that made me start to think, and you know what? There really is a lot more to this than just save our jobs, save our jobs. And then a thinking person needs to find those arguments, internalize those arguments, challenge those arguments, make sure that they're legit, and then take them to the streets. And then the Boston thing, I got into running marathons. It seemed like an interesting location, venue, capability, so forth, and decided to just suck it up and run with a hard hat and deal with the sore neck.
Wait. Did you run marathons before, or did you start running marathons?
I ran marathon. I ran my first marathon in April of 2013. April 6th of 2013. Then the Boston explosion happened April 19th or 20th, or I guess it's 20th of 13. And then I ran my second marathon April 26th. I proceeded to put together a ridiculous string of marathons and ran 16 marathons, including one 112-mile ultra marathon in that year. And then on week 53, I ran the Boston Marathon in the hard hat. So 1 year and 1 week after my first one, I ran my 17th marathon, and I ran it in the hard hat.
I think a lot of people watching wouldn't think, given your industry, you'd be able to breathe.
I'm certain they wouldn't. And there is yet another thing, and I didn't read that in the book. And if I missed it, maybe I apologize. But clearly, the dangers of underground coal mining, or the dangers to the mining individual, are as over exaggerated as a lot of the environmental claims.
Well, that is covered in the book, incidentally.
Okay. Well, it is tremendously over exaggerated. The coal dust rules, the black lung thing, the idea that everything's falling in on you all the time, and only a podunk idiot would ever go underground and mine coal. We haven't done ourselves any service by saying save our jobs, save our jobs. But at the same time, the fact of the matter is it's a very technologically advanced industry with an awful lot of safety features, factors, and as far as my ability to breathe, it is far more impacted by the fact that I carry extra body weight and have somewhat of a sedentary lifestyle when I'm not underground.
Not running 112 miles.
Well, right.
I think sedentary lifestyle usually doesn't refer to people who run an ultra marathon in recent memory. So one more big question for you. So you've really become a champion of fossil fuels, and again, not in this job sense of save our jobs, but no, our job is doing something incredibly positive for human life, and that's why it's a good job that's not worth saving, but worth not destroying through the government. So as a champion who's taken a lot of action, taken a lot of time, what would you say to the executives in your industry what they should be doing? Because I think a lot of people, everyone's going on vacation now, which is good. I mean, vacation is great, but it seems like you're a lot more involved than people with a lot more means to get involved.
It's a very good question, and I continue to. They're the executive types that you're asking about, and I think that with the resources that undoubtedly at least up until the past couple of years, whatever the crusade against us has pinched us all, but there are still a lot of financial resources available to this industry that I do believe could be used to reach out and make this point to the average American a lot better. I mean, the frank fact of the matter is very well-meaning people who really truly believe that they're making a no-brainer decision. Of course, I love the environment. Of course, I love the outdoors. Of course, I want my children and my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren to have an earth whenever I'm done. And of course, coal is dirty. So let's get rid of it. It's going away anyhow. Let's just get rid of it quicker. We'll do that in our generation, and we'll leave our grandkids something. And that's the way that very well-meaning people believe, because they just don't know any different, and that's what they've been force-fed. So, not to pander too much to you, but of course we can give your book and other information of its ilk to schools and teachers who would like to have it. And I know that is a movement that can easily be gotten. It's a lot easier than running a marathon to donate a few bucks to put these books into the hands of kids and teachers who want to learn about this stuff and want to become informed. Instructing our people, our employees, not just telling them what to do, but helping them to become more informed, that whenever they get asked the questions, it isn't just save our jobs, that there are a lot of reasons why they are heroes to America, why their grandfathers who were digging coal whenever it was really dangerous and their great grandfathers and so forth back to the Welsh were winning world wars, were making the Industrial Revolution possible, and made it so that we could be here today. In a lot of ways, very similar to the armed forces contributions, and Winston Churchill made a comment to that tone that the coal miners did their part and were very responsible for the winning of the war. But instructing our people, helping our people to understand these concepts, I think is a good part of it. So we do a lot of training. I think we could do more training on not just how to do the job, how to put a roof bolt into the roof or mine coal, but also why we're doing what we're doing and how we're helping society. And again, dedicate resources to things, help out, and then find ways to reach outside of our industry. We're very, very good at preaching to each other inside of our own industry. Very good at it. I don't know how many times me and other vendors, me and other execs, me and other people within the industry have sat around and told each other a whole bunch of stuff we already know. We're preaching to the choir. We all know how terrible it is. We all know how we feel about the administration and this witch hunt against our industry and all that. That's great. Use a quarter of that energy to go out and tell somebody outside. Tell somebody in Southern California. Tell your uncle in Massachusetts or your aunt in Oregon or your mother wherever. Tell someone else. Tell a college student. Try to move the needle on somebody who hasn't been moved yet. There are some really relevant, new, and novel ideas to bring to this, and you've brought them to the forefront that we need to express and share. And the marathons is just one vehicle for doing it. And I wouldn't recommend doing 112-mile ultras if that's what you're into.
Yeah, you said the ways are a lot easier than doing that. I mean,
Certainly are.
You can refer someone to a website or a Facebook page or a Twitter feed. I love books as a means. That's why I wrote one, or a podcast, or people can refer. I'm going to refer a lot of people to this video because I think that particularly people in the industry will be inspired and should be inspired by what you've done. But I think the point is so great about reaching out to people beyond your circle. Because I remember earlier in life, I spent quite a bit of time complaining about what different people were doing to me, and at a certain point I realized what is going to come of this besides me being more convinced that I'm persecuted and therefore less motivated. So at CIP, we spend almost no time ever talking about what's wrong with everyone except when we're fighting it. So if we talk about the news in the morning, we go write a piece about it to tell the world. And if you find yourself commiserating with everyone else who works around you and the world is everyone's an idiot and this kind of thing, it leads to a almost intellectual and activism depression, because it's just conceding nobody else is reachable. But then if that were true, then why talk about it so much? Just suffer the damage and then go play pool or otherwise enjoy your life. But I think what we have here is we have examples of both of us. We've taken the road of taking action and convincing people of what we think are the right ideas, and you can have a lot of impact. So yeah, I think what you're doing is great. I really appreciate it. Any final words for people viewing this?
I think all of us, almost all of us, know someone in a place that doesn't know a coal miner or will never see a coal miner. And I know that your focus is more generalized than just coal. But my little crusade is about coal industry. And I have friends who I went to college with who live in non-coal producing states who wouldn't know where to find a coal mine or or know that they ever ran into a coal miner. For those of us in the industry, say it loud. Be proud about it. Don't go, I'm in the coal industry. What do you do? Oh, I'm a sales. Whatever. It's a very easy thing to say. It's very easy to just move right by it. Don't cause any ripples. Don't tell anybody anything. You don't want to, talk about religion and politics. The fact is this isn't religion. This isn't politics. This is your living. This is your country. This is your survival. And being willing to say it outside of your circle and educate yourself so that you're not just saying jobs, 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 or isn't Obama terrible? Educate yourself. The book, taking the notes on it, really understanding the concepts and internalizing them will make you better at being able to, whenever you do have to get in an argument, which is very rare, even if you're wearing a hard hat and a shirt that says the war on coal is a war on American people, in Washington, D.C., you still don't get in that many fights. But you might open somebody's eyes, or somebody might ask you a question, and if you know the answer, it's going to go so much further toward reaching your goal than sitting around talking to your friends about it, or than keeping your mouth shut, or than having some ignorant response that just turns people away and alienates them and gives them further credence to the idea that coal miners or fossil fuel people or whomever are all ignorant rednecks or the ultra wealthy who care nothing about anything but filling their own pockets. None of which is true, but we've got to educate ourselves in order to be able to show that we're not just dumb rednecks.
Awesome, Dave. Well, thanks a lot. It's been super fun.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Alex. Take care.